Provocative architecture of the West Coast, a littoral testimony. Welcome to Muara Baru, North Jakarta. At present, the local community of Muara Baru, North Jakarta is slowly getting displaced, although some persist in a state of limbo, like a Schrödinger cat of space, knowing full well the land is sinking and flooding with seawater inevitably. The current residents of the Muara Baru area are considered the urban poor, which history had proven to have less diplomatic stand. Over the course of half a century, the remnants of these inhabitants will be completely submerged beneath the rising sea level and leaving behind a poignant silence. Jakarta as the economic capital in its nature undergoes rapid transformation, often resulting in the gradual fading of its past and historical echoes. And with this lack of diplomatic stand, there is no way for real-time, proper interaction to be held in space. So how might architecture serve as a political bridge across eras? The design proposes a challenge for the notion of architecture being a mere concrete space for interaction. Tangibility and intangibility in architecture. To stretch the boundaries of conventional architectural paradigms and further challenge the role of antithetical elements in architecture, the design proposes an experimental approach through dialectical process concerning two antithetical and both prominent architects, Zaha Hadid and Peter Zumthor. Zaha Hadid's thesis Malefic Tectonic exemplifies a building that is almost sightless and materialless. Hadid starts from suprematism painting, something that's abstract and metaphysical, what we deem as immaterial, into architecture, what we deem as material. She positions architecture as an object that's coming from an abstraction to be assembled in a metaphysical manner. To experience architecture in a concrete way, according to Zumthor, means being able to touch, see, hear, and smell the architecture. He mainly starts from selecting and experimenting with different materials to become architecture that provokes emotions and experience, something that's immaterial. He positions architecture as a subject that could communicate with its users. Both architects' design philosophies are deconstructed and reconstructed within the context of interaction between space and time. A swimming pool is chosen as the typology for its relation to water as a medium for interaction. Through the pool walls, the existing landscape becomes the element that will be abstracted by nature. And with time, the landscape will be a sediment-trapping instrument with waste building up as a sedimentation along the building to become a slow-cooking, ever-changing architecture that acts as a subject of interaction between users. A random, densely populated area with an alley is chosen to be the site and the printed form of the building. The columns will be built around the perimeter of local residences, following an alley as to not disturb the community living in the present. The seawater will gradually flood the area in decades of time, and by this time around, the community will be displaced. The vacancy allows the swimming pool to retaining glasses to be erected. The area is completely submerged, and the rest of the building's construction can then be continued and the pool is open to public. The red represents the swimming pool area in which the interaction between users of the past, represented by the interaction of materiality and immateriality in architecture, and the future users happens. Over time, the sediments will build up along the building. And so the walls will testify for those things left unsaid and those left silenced, bringing the conversation to the future users as the medium and as a subject. Conceptual perspective rendering of the interior area, displaying the swimming pool area. And this is the conceptual rendering of the exterior, showcasing the skyline of Jakarta. This particular slide concerns the structure of the building. I apologize for any lack of clarity, and I thank you for your attention.